emotions that we are suppressing that are creating stress in the body. You just sense it in the body. You're like, okay, you're there. You suppress it. You go into a situation that reminds you of the thing that brings up the same emotion. Maybe you feel a little bit stronger. Maybe you feel it in your stomach a little bit more. Maybe you feel it in the pain in your body a little bit more. Okay. Suppress it. Suddenly it keeps coming up, but you don't feel it as much because you're continuing to suppress it. You're starting to become numb. It starts to get loud until it screams. We can create pain in the body, sickness in the body, disease, if we view feelings a certain way. Before I talk about this topic, my name is Naomi Dunn. I'm an inner work coach, transformational coach, EFT practitioner. This is Disrupt Your Norm, where I help you disrupt your current norm, which if you watch this video, clicked on this podcast, is someone who may struggle with feelings, to help bring you to a better norm where you can feel your feelings and you can heal what's in the body that has been created because of the trapped emotions in the body. So what is this perspective that we need to have of emotions? The first thing is we have to realize that emotions are neutral 100% of the time. The only reason we think emotions are not neutral, that they are a negative, that they are a bad thing, is because we have perceived and seen people in our lives growing up react certain ways because of their emotions. And then we associated the negative, bad emotions in our mind as something we shouldn't experience. Whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, if you were told growing up, don't cry, if you saw a really angry parent. The only reason you have this perspective that emotions are bad is because of past experiences. But those past experiences didn't mean emotions were bad. Those past experiences only meant that the person experiencing the emotion responded negatively, but the emotion itself was not negative. Like I said, we often have this idea that emotions are bad. We have to realize that there is no emotion that shouldn't be felt. Emotions are there for a purpose, for a reason, and they are there to be felt. We can all admit that a lot of problems in this world, a lot of problems that come up for people, and a lot of sicknesses and illnesses come from stress. Most people can put their hand up and say, yeah, I believe in that. What if the stress, when people say stress, it is actually a broad term for individual emotions that have been suppressed. And those suppressed emotions, they're not just one, there are many. Anger, sadness, resentment, all these emotions you consider negative. What if they come from those trapped emotions, and those trapped emotions create the stress? And so if we just say to ourselves, if we live a more stress-free life, then we won't deal with the consequences of the things that come from stress. It's not about living a more stress-free life. And sometimes it's actually about facing what's already there. And that's the emotions that you are suppressing. It's not just this generalized term of stress. It's emotions that we are suppressing that are creating stress in the body. When we say it's just stress, then we think, okay, then I'll have a more pleasurable life. I'll slow down a little bit. I'll take away this. I'll do this, which all those things can help you. But what if it's not just that? It's actually the fact that you have trapped resentment in the body. You've trapped anger. You've trapped anxiety. You have trapped traumas that you never dealt with from your childhood. And that's what's creating the problem. And so, like I said, I don't want to scare you too much. It can show up, in the extremes, it can show up into sickness and other things like that. But the good news is, if you think you have a sickness, if you think you have a disease that is stemming from a trapped emotion, it can be reversed. And it can be reversed very quickly, because when you take care of the root, which is feeling and processing the emotion, then you take away the symptom, which is the sickness or the illness or whatever it is, the mental health issue, whatever it is for you, okay? So the messages that are often trying to be heard that we suppress is that there is something accumulating. It could be that there's a physical issue developing in the body, in a specific part of the body. Maybe you're feeling specific pain in an area of the body, and it's actually an emotion trying to get out. Maybe you're starting to notice that your immunity is really low and you're getting sick consistently, and that's an emotion that's being trapped, and the message is feel me, feel the emotion. So we have to let ourselves feel the emotions to hear the message. And sometimes we don't know exactly why the message is there or what the message is, but we just have to start letting ourselves feel. Because the thing with these messages is they always start quiet until they become loud. They start with a whisper until they turn into a scream. They start with you just sensing the feeling in your body, sensing the anxiety, sensing the resentment. You just sense it in the body. You're like, okay, you're there. You suppress it. You go into a situation that reminds you of the thing that brings up the same emotion. Maybe you feel a little bit stronger. Maybe you feel it in your stomach a little bit more. Maybe you feel it in the pain in your body a little bit more. Oh, okay. Suppress it. Suddenly it keeps coming up, but you don't feel it as much because you're continuing to suppress it. You're starting to become numb. Okay, you keep suppressing it. What happens? It starts to show up loud. It starts to show up as the physical problem. It starts to show up as difficulty just getting out of bed, as difficulty in the pains in your body and the sickness that you feel. It starts to get loud until it screams. And that's when it's a problem. We have to listen to these messages and we have to feel our emotions. We have to see them as neutral and we have to let ourselves feel them. If you feel disconnected, if you feel emotionally numb, if you feel like you need help, I do offer one-on-one coaching and I have availability in my calendar, which you can book in the link in the description. If not, thank you for watching. I hope this helped you. I really recommend that if you feel emotionally numb, you can watch this video here. It's going to give you a new perspective, some new insights, and some new ways that you may not be familiar with in order to reverse that emotional numbness so you can start feeling again. See you guys next time.